Hello, I'm Patrick,
And I am Padre.
and today we are covering the most recent changes to AMG's X-Wing. Again.
Yeah, more changes. Yeah, just what the doctor ordered. We needed more changes.
So, AMG has pronounced more changes to the rules, the points, the objectives.
Oh yeah, just to everything, and everybody could not be happier. I mean, I'm just flippin' excited.
Well, they did fix some issues and concerns with certain objectives and rules, but I'm sorry, I just can't keep up. I can't.
Oh, what's the matter? Too confusing? Hard to fly what you like? Does your favorite ship no longer fit or have the appropriate points for upgrades? I mean, we could go on and on and on.
Yes, all of the above.
Yeah, welcome to the club. We got some t-shirts being printed up, all right?
It feels great. So more videos for relatively the same thing we just saw a few months ago.
And we will keep bringing you updates and changes to the game, which, let's face it, will be every few months or weeks or even days.
If you
It's
can't,
AMG.
yeah, if you can't tell, we aren't exactly excited over the changes. Not because of the said changes, but because of how often they're a changing.
You don't say. I mean, I understand your frustration, Patrick. I have been expressing it since, 2.5 was released.
Yeah,
2.9.
2.99. So the reason for this, as we explained on our Facebook page, is there are a lot of changes in such a short time. It's making it difficult to make a list, fly it, prepare it for a tournament like, I don't know, Gen Con. So, I mean, at this point, we don't want to give out advice for list building, tactical advice, or go on tangents because it could be obsolete in a few months. So, as I am Friday from Dragnet, just the facts, ma'am.
It's hard to prepare for anything, really. I mean, however, let's not dwell on it. Let's
No,
cover the changes just to the rules.
exactly.
Let's just to the rules.
So, let's go over the obvious first. This is from the rules reference document 1.4.3. If you have 1.4.2, that is not the latest version. And this document goes into effect on June 15th, 2022.
Wait.
Yeah.
How is 1.4.2 incorrect?
Uh,
Isn't that the old version from months ago?
nope. Between this or today and Friday, they uploaded 1.4.2, but then they missed something and uploaded 1.4.3.
Patrick, what did they miss?
Also,
It's
this
too early.
document goes
I
into
have to.
effect June 15th.
I'm starting now.
Yeah.
Starting now.
Just start adding it. It's fine. That's alcohol.
It looks like they added a ship cannot be assigned target locks while they are ionized.
So if you're playing in a tournament from now till then, your organizer may have you play with the older rules or the subject to the one that change.
Who would have you play with the the rules that are subject to change?
Hey Robert, great news.
What?
Did the
Did the rules update as we were recording?
Nope, you can no longer use force points to modify attacks at range 0.
Oh, well, that's a breath of fresh air. Let's have a look, shall we? While performing a primary attack at range 0, which means it is any range that is not 1, 2, or 3, or 4.5, or 9. Okay, 0. The attacker's dice cannot be modified except by the defender.
Yes, so no longer do the Jedi have advantage from bumping. They need to roll their dice and accept their fate just like everyone else.
And also, while attacking a ship at range 0, which means 0, not
Yes.
1 or 2 or 3 or 9, 0. The
Yes.
attack range is always 0, which means 0, as in 0.
The rule was also added to ensure people don't try to game the system. You can see it in the bottom right corner right there. So if you have, like, let's say TIE Bomber with a major rhymer, even though it says it can adjust attack to range 0 and treat it as range 0, it, don't try to say, well, the card says 1 to 3, so I get it for the bone. No, it's at range 0, just like everything else.
Yeah, and cards like Arvel and Captain Oiken, I love saying that. Oiken!
I love me some bacon.
Still work since the rules state cards supersede rules.
Yep.
Let me restate that. Cards supersede rules. All right. So to add this range rule, this also corrects the question of touching ships. For example, 2 ships are touching.
Yep.
Touching. But when you measure from the arc, it's range 1. The attack is still at, are you ready? 0.
Range 0.
0.
Yeah, that's a good point. Absolutely.
Okay. I want you to read the next one.
What?
Frankly, because I tried, and I fell asleep halfway through. I woke up, I forgot where I was, and then I realized I just didn't care.
Exactly. You're talking about the new ion rule.
Yeah, that's the one that takes up 19, 20 paragraphs, whatever it is.
Exactly. So this is somewhat, it's intimidating, but it is simple once you get through it. Short version is you must always set your dial for your ship. I always stress that, always. Even when a ship is ionized, or if you know it's about to be ionized during the planning phase or whatever phase, you move your ship, when you move your ship, you flip your dial and execute your ion maneuver in the same direction as the dial. I even have a nice little thing right here. Once a ship becomes ionized, it breaks all locks on it that it is maintaining and can acquire or maintain locks. Enemy locks will stay assigned to you, and you still can't perform any actions except for focus.
It sounds simple enough. We actually did test it this weekend in Heroes of the Aturi cluster.
Yes, we did. A little TIE fighter got ionized, so we rolled in the chart. It performed a 2 bank, and it executed a 1 bank left instead.
And how did that work out for that little TIE fighter?
Not so great. It definitely got one-shotted.
Yes, it did. By who?
Well,
Let me tell you. Me.
Exactly.
I killed it.
Oh, man.
With a Y-wing.
You did.
Bomber.
Yeah, you one-shotted it up close with a Y-wing. All right, so the long version. Basically, you should be setting your dial as if you intend to reveal it during the activation phase. Can't stress that.
Since there are things in the game that can remove, ion tokens, except pour one out for, Derek Killican, you should always set a dial, but do it, this is important, secretly. Secretly.
Exactly.
Secretly.
So it is during the planning phase. In the first round, during the planning phase, each player secretly sets a maneuver. So the rules state secretly, page 16 of the rules reference. I'm sorry, I love that term so much. They could have put, but it says secretly.
Secretly. We oh my god, we've joked on this so many times before, but it's still funny.
I know. So once you set your super decoder ring dial, you need to execute your ion maneuver. So you choose a direction on your ion maneuver with the said dial. So in this example here, I've set a 2 hard left. So the same goes for when you want to execute a 1 bank right. You would set let's say a 3 bank right. It goes then 1 straights for straights and 0 stops also go straight. So as this sample, I put it in 2 hard, I got ionized, I performed the 1 bank to the left. And regardless of color of the selected maneuver, the ion maneuver is always blue.
So what is the difference between this flipping of the dial and revealing a dial nonsense? Because it says I skip the ship's reveal dial setup, the dial that I set secretly. But then references my reveal dial as a flipped on Oh my god, I'm getting woozy again. I probably just need a nap or something.
I know. Okay, for things like, let's say, Contrail, his ability uses the term revealed dial, but if you aren't revealing a dial, his ability wouldn't work. So you can still use it because it replaces revealed with flipped.
I'll take your word for it.
Exactly. Also, it is worth mentioning if you're ionized after you set your dial, you still perform an ion maneuver. So keep that in mind while you're setting your dial. So you can or you can only perform a focus action and cannot be coordinated unless it's to perform a focus action. If you execute your maneuver and remove the ion tokens, then you can be coordinated as you're no longer ionized. That's a tongue twister. Finally, if a
Oh,
ship was ionized during the planning phase but has since removed the ion tokens, it doesn't execute an ion maneuver and it may activate as normal.
good God.
Absolutely.
What was the reason for all of this?
So it doesn't take away from the experience of flying. It feels bad when someone gets walked off the board.
Okay, so AMG is now going soft. They're trying to make it a kindler, a gentler X-Wing. Oh, nice. That's great.
When, well, then you really think they are going to go soft in this next one.
Yeah, because this. So, okay, when overlapping obstacles, AMG is going to have you suffer with tender, loving kindness and care, gentle care. They really want you to just hug the rock. They're going to make new players feel right at home.
Yeah, what's the new rule?
Okay, before a ship moves, if it's overlapping an obstacle, it does not suffer the effects of moving through the obstacle.
Yeah, so you can't suffer from a rock once you've overlapped it.
So if I maneuver my ship just so and keep your ship parked on a rock, I no longer suffer the effects of said rock.
Yeah, so let's go to the photo. It says, you know, a Y Wing sitting on a rock. I already took damage, rolled for the effects. If I move next turn, I don't suffer damage or the effects of said obstacle. You still can't attack or perform actions while on top of it because it is an asteroid. However, you won't take any damage or effects during activation.
Well, that is an interesting change. That's just an interesting change. I in no way want to harp on these rules or let AMG think I have a negative opinion about this at all.
Well, another nice change is that when you are shooting at, or I'm sorry, when you overlap another ship, you now can perform a focus and a calculate action. You're not just limited to focus anymore.
And that's a green focus?
No, it's still red. 100% still red.
Oh, okay. Okay. Uh, all right. I like that change. It was odd that droids would bump and can't take their action just because they aren't human. I don't think that was fair.
Yeah. So I guess the droid rebellion worked. Pour one out for L337.
Moving on, sir. Let's move on to errata. We have some
Yes.
nice changes to a large group of ships. TIE Striker and the TIE Reaper no longer forced to do a one-speed maneuver with adaptive ailerons. It has changed. No, I would say it's evolved. It's evolved into a boost.
Yes. So you'll notice all here the TIE Reapers, the Strikers, they now read as before you reveal your dial, if you are not stressed, you must boost.
You must boost.
Must
So,
boost.
so no more bumping a ship, going over obstacles, or starting the match by moving twice.
How so?
Well, I can set my Reaper parallel to the board edge,
Hmm.
fail my boost off the table, and then execute my maneuver.
I mean, I guess you could.
Yeah, I don't know why I would really either, yeah, since everyone makes a mad dash to the objectives anyhow.
Yeah, it'll make flying these ships maybe a little easier or even perhaps harder depending on how you like to fly it. I mean, you may have liked bumping into opponents, taking a red focus, and then performing a blue maneuver over your opponent by clearing them, and then grabbing an objective.
I'm assuming that is why they changed it. I mean, I'm assuming,
Maybe.
having it originally as a maneuver and not a boost causes some timing and mechanical issues under the new rules.
Yes. Speaking of timing, we've got more errata, BB Astromech and BB-8 Astromech. Their timing windows have moved to now you must perform your barrel roll and or barrel roll and boost during the systems phase rather than before you reveal your dial.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, everyone else has to do it in the systems phase. Why not this?
Yeah, I personally haven't used these cards in years, but I mean, it was fun while it lasted.
We also have a conflict here.
Contraband cybernetics.
Do you not think it's a little ironic, just a little bit, that a card with the name Contraband cybernetics means it can do whatever it wants? I mean, it's illegal contraband. Duh. So now you can't recover the charge. It is gone. It's unrecoverable. It just goes away.
It's just, yeah,
Done.
it's a bit strange for the errata, but as more cards come out that recover charges, AMG won't want ships doing red maneuvers the whole game while being able to take actions. As you can tell, Contraband Cybernetics had the statement to this card, charged cannot be recovered, so no more cutthroat.
So stop being scum. Okay. Finally, the last errata. I Ursa Wren. It now should read, you can maintain up to 2 locks. Each lock must be on a different object. After a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is locked by an enemy ship, you may perform a lock action.
Yeah, so I was running this on Lando with Nor and R3. Nor would lock Lando. Lando could lock anything. And with the blue maneuver from Lando, he could hand out more actions and take more actions. It was silly, so I'm glad they changed it.
I have seen Ursa in action, and I hated you for it.
Yep.
I won't mince words. Because at some point while you were explaining it, I said, sure, go ahead. Whatever you say. I will just trust that it works.
I kept explaining it since it is somewhat complicated.
Exactly. It's garbage. Yeah, it is Super Handshake 4000. It's just too much. It's too much on the table. Okay,
Yeah.
too much.
Sadly, the combo still works as long as you lock one of my ships. I just can't lock myself anymore.
Yeah. Moving on. What we now return to is pegging.
What?
No, Patrick. I mean, we can remove our ships from the pegs if they get in the way. What were you thinking?
Oh, yes. Players may remove miniatures from their plastic pegs until the conflict is resolved. I mean, I have to admit, I'm very glad they added this or re-added it.
Well, is it because even though the human race is understandable, can see a rule like this and work through it responsibly? We could. We may run into a TO or be at a major event somewhere in which some judge takes it too seriously and makes you increase or decrease the amount of pegs on your ship rather than letting you take your ship off the peg for a turn. Because, and here's where my lack of understanding comes. If the judge tells me to remove the ship to add a peg, didn't I just remove the ship from the peg?
Exactly. So
just saying.
I literally, this is what's crazy. I just had an issue with this in World of Tanks when I posted it to their Facebook page because I asked, are there any official rules or documents to clarify a rule since there isn't one? They don't have an FAQ officially. So people got back to me and said, just use the unofficial rules. Why are you being such a square? And meanwhile, I'm watching a match online and I try to tell them, hey, the unofficial rules are here. You can check them out because what they did was technically illegal. And the TO stated, if it's not official, I'm not going to allow it.
So this is more for the bad TOs rather than the players.
Yes, because the rules state a TO is God, and
Lowercase g.
yes, not thee, but thy. And
Right.
if they are the rules as written type of person, I would 100% rather be in the rules as written so that I can avoid the bad TOs. It happens at FFG World events, so, you know, people say the rules don't need it. We clearly do. Clearly.
Agree. TOs are gods. You know,
Yeah.
I I love the next update. Epic players.
Oh,
There are updates to the points. They are coming. The rules for huge ship have not been updated alongside the core rules. They will be updated in the future.
well, it's in the rules reference, so it's official.
Yeah, it's official that they'll do something at some time
Yes.
in the future.
In the
So
future.
that could be
Future.
anywhere from the next 37 seconds, AMG, to another year or two.
Yep.
That's just, you know.
You're not going to hold your breath on it?
No.
well,
Sure.
well, with these updates every few, or these rules updates every few weeks, we may see something in the next few hours.
Sure. Sure. Monkeys may fly out of my butt, too. AMG also has added the mission points rules to the rules reference.
Yes.
Originally, these were in the scenarios, but now we have them in the rules document, sir.
Yes. So it's mission points. All they did was just add this here. But what about the scenarios, Robert?
Well, what about the scenarios?
I want to know. You know, we can cover those if you'd like. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to cover the
Okay.
scenarios real quick. It's easy. A caveman
Yeah.
can do it. All right. So, first up, all scenarios now include starting on the second round, which is in reference to when you can start collecting or earning points related to objectives. You can still kill, maim, murder, explode your opponents for points. However, you can't get objectives till turn 2.
Yeah, we mentioned this several times. Even before the scenarios were released, we felt getting first round points was silly.
Yep.
Actually, I think I said is stupid.
True.
Since it makes you put objectives right next to your table edge where I could, just to get those first few points. It's like,
Yes.
oh, I'm going to put it right here and right there.
Yeah, so you can see where it says start the second round, but they put a blue 20 in there on all the documents. I'm not sure why. I've tried to spot the difference, which is my favorite, bar game, but I could not find one.
Yeah, AMG doesn't make mistakes.
No. Wait till you see the points document.
How about Assault the Satellite Array? Has no changes other than scoring starts round 2?
Oh, hold on. Did I miss? Where is that? Assault the Sat. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so that was Assault the Satellite Array. That was no other change, but yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, moving on. Chance engagement. No, this is another head hurter. It hurts my brain. It physically hurts my brain when I think of this. It now states that if you have 2 players range 0 to 2 of the center objective, both players now score 1 point at the end of the round. If only one player is range 0 to 2 of the center objective, they score 1 point and an additional point at the end of the round. So potentially 2 points a turn?
Yep. Again, the objective scoring starts at round 2, but yes, players can score up to 2 points if your opponent doesn't come at you, bro.
So if you and I are within 0 to 2 of the centered marker,
Yep.
I get a point for that. You get a point for that.
Yeah, because it says basically a player earns 1 point if they are, near the satellite at range 1 to 2. A player contests the satellite if they are at range 0 to 2 of the satellite if one player is contesting the satellite, that player scores one additional point. So one additional means that's 2. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I guess you just get a point for being there. All right.
exactly.
Moving on.
Yeah. So this is Salvage, or no, that was which one are we on? Because I can't even keep track of these.
We're on
Yes,
Salvage mission
we are on
now.
Salvage mission. This sucker has a lot of changes. Yeah, exactly. So
Really? Changes?
it changes. You cannot pick up or scored objective until round 2, but you can't pick it up. So you can't pick it up and hold it and go on first. Nope, you have to wait till turn 2. If you perform a tow action, you must remove, not decloak, but remove any cloak tokens. While you are towing a supply cache, you cannot perform a barrel boost, cloak, slam, gain a cloak token, or cloak.
So basically, take it, do nothing.
Yes. This is going to make getting shot at really easy. Any ace that thinks about picking these things up may regret it, especially if they don't reposition. If they do pick one up, they can choose to dump it, but that's only after activation.
So if I pick it up with a K-Wing, and next turn I move, I can't slam and drop the cargo anymore. I'm stuck to the end of activation where I can drop it, and then the turn after I can slam again.
Yes, so make sure you know what you're getting into before picking one up. There'll be up to 5 on the table, so you can pick up maybe 1 or 2, but picking them all up with all of your ships, I don't know if that's a good idea anymore.
So the slow and cumbersome ships that can't reposition will be taking hits, but things like Suntir Fel and Obi-Wan will stay 1,000 parsecs away from the thing.
Possibly. Unless you really are planning ahead, you won't want this on any sort of ace, or else you may get stuck trying to score points.
Okay, last scenario.
Yes.
Another big one. Scramble the transmission. We now only have 3 satellites on the table. You still cannot use the scenario action until turn 2, and you no longer roll a die to control an object.
Yeah. So, to start, 3 objectives will be placed relatively the same before. That's right, I said 3. 1's in the center, and the remaining 2 are placed by each player on their opponent's side. Still at range 3 of the center, and 2 to 4 of their opponent's board edge.
Makes sense. I'm thinking players will keep them closer to the middle now. With the scramble action, it now reads, when a ship performs a scramble action, choose a satellite at range 0 to 1 and place one of your player markers on the chosen satellite. If the chosen satellite has another player's marker on it, remove it ting, before placing your own. If there is no satellite in range, the action fails.
Yeah.
By the way, Patrick, did you know we make marker tokens?
We do make marker tokens at recontokens.com. You can check those out, because right now we're having a 20% discount on all tokens.
Till the end of the month.
Till the end of the month. So there's going to be some serious celebration in the streets on this one. On that one rule you just read.
Yeah, it was a big complaint with almost every podcast except one.
Yep.
Ours.
Yes. I think people were most upset that they had to roll more dice rather than not gaining control over the marker. At least 100%, that's what it seemed like.
People are strange, dude.
When you're a stranger.
They get angry over things, and AMG fixes it promptly and without verifying if it works.
Oh, you're talking about the points?
No, of course not. Dude, no, I'd never talk. No. Why would I mention the fact that 90% of extended ships didn't have any points adjusted, while the standard ship, every stinking standard ship, was flipped on its axis?
Well, it's a good thing we aren't covering the points this episode. Or possibly at all. I've made a document. It's on our Facebook page. It has all 27 pages marked with the points changes and the upgrade points as well.
Yeah, and thank you for doing that. That's not an easy thing to do, and I certainly appreciate it. It made my brain work a little bit easier.
I hated every minute of it.
So we want to tell everybody, go to Recon Paint X-Wing Miniatures
Yep.
on Facebook, one of our Facebook pages.
Mhm.
The link to the Google document is there, and it's also going to be in the description below.
Yep.
So make sure you check that out, because at least now you know what it was and what it is now, and you can see every wonderful thing that AMG did.
Exactly. I'm going to make a deal. If you
Oh,
guys want us to do the points, we'll do them on an episode. You got to get this video up to 69 likes. And I know what you're thinking. Haha, 69. But guess what? That's one like for every page that's in the rules reference, points, and scenarios. That's right. There's 69 pages if you put all of those documents together, and we'll cover the points live.
oh God, why?
Hell, we'll even list build.
No, what? No.
Oh, yeah. So after sharing that
No.
horrible news with Padre, we're going to call it there. Please make sure to go
I hate
to
you.
the like button. Before you click it, hold your fire since there are no
so
life
much.
signs aboard. Then try spinning your chair 10 times. Spinning, that's a good trick. Then try to click the subscribe button. Thank you to all of our patrons. We just had some newcomers this month, and we are excited to have you aboard. The prizes we have coming out this month are going to be amazing. If you'd like to become a Patreon member, please visit the link below. Speaking of links, check out our recontokens.com for all of your token needs, and not just X-Wing, but for almost any board game.
Yeah, and if you don't see your game or you want custom tokens, please contact us at recontokens@gmail.com. Look, I can customize your tokens with anything that you want, your logo, whatever you want on it, with almost anything I can put on. And I don't charge an extra customization fee. No,
He
that's
doesn't.
not how we roll. We like the games, and
We
we
do.
don't feel that you have to be punished.
Yeah, we actually like making new tokens for new games because when somebody doesn't see what they like or have a game of, they're like, hey, can you make these tokens? Absolutely. So,
Sure.
thank you again for watching. This is Recon Paint Gaming reminding you to play casual.
See ya.